Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Abhishek, and in this video we're gonna solve container with most water problem. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest notification first. So without much further ado, let's start our today's video. So let's understand this question. So the question is about container with most water. So it is a medium level question from Leetcode. So the question tells us given n non-negative integers starting from a1 up to an, where each represents a point at coordinate I, a of I, where n is the number of vertical lines that are drawn such that the two endpoints of the line I is at I, a of I and I, 0. So we have to find two lines which together with the x-axis forms a container such that the container contains the most water, right? So let's understand this with an example. So over here we are given a number of non-negative integers, right? Now these non-negative integers actually denotes the height of the lines, right? So let's take this example. So we are given height like 1, 8, 6, 2, 5, 4, 8, 3, 7. So you can consider this height to be 1. This is 8, 6, 2, 5, 4, 8, 3 and 7, right? So I need to find that we need to find the area of that container, right, which holds maximum water. So over here you can see the answer is 49. The reason being that if we take this line and this line, right, this line's height is 8 and this line is 7. So the minimum, if we take consider the minimum, it will be 7, right? Now 7 multiplied with 7, that is the distance between them, right? It is giving you 49. So now let's understand this question with more examples. So let's say that we are given a vector, like we are given a vector of 2 comma 3 comma 1 comma 4 comma 3, right? So now the brute force approach will be that we are going to consider each and every pair, right, in this vector. So let's consider each and every pair. We are over here, right? We are at 2. Then we want to check for like 2 comma 3, right? Now then we will check for like which is the minimum between 2 comma 3 is 2, right? Then we're gonna multiply that with the distance. Now the distance between 2 comma 3 is 1, right? So we're gonna have like 2 right over here. Now we're gonna store that 2 in a variable. Let's say the variable is answer. Now, okay, so we're gonna store 2. Now this variable is going to give me the maximum area, right? Next we are gonna check for like 2 comma 1, right? Now when you're checking for like 2 comma 1, then we would think, we just imagine that this line doesn't exist, okay? Such that we'll only consider the minimum between 2 and 1, okay? So now you know the minimum between 2 and 1 is actually 1, right? So if it will be like 1, okay, multiplied, yeah, since the height is 1, right, and the distance is 2, right, 1 multiplied by 2, that's 2. So we already have 2, so no problem. Now we're going to check for like 2 comma 4, right? Now the minimum between 2 comma 4, and we're not going to consider this right now. So the minimum between 2 comma 4 is actually 2, right? So we're going to consider 2, right? Then we're going to multiply this 2 with the distance, that is 3. So now we have got 6, right? Now yeah, so up to here 6. So now you know that the 6 is greater than 2, so we're gonna update this to 6. So now we're gonna check for like 2 comma 3, right? Then next we'll check for 2 comma. Now we'll see that now the minimum is actually 2, right? Again 2. Then now the distance is actually 4, right? Yeah, 1 2 3 4. So we're gonna multiply this with 4, which should give me 8, right? Now it will give me 8. Now once we have completed this 2, right, now we'll move our pointer, that is ith pointer, to 3 over here, right? Now this 3 is gonna check for like, again it will check for like 1, 3 comma 1. We know that 1 is the minimum, right? So it is gonna multiply the distance, and the distance between them is actually 1, right? So it's 1. But we already have this 8, right? We already have this 8 stored, right? Now next we are gonna check for like 3 comma 4, right? We're gonna go to 3 and check for 3 comma 4. Now we know that the minimum is actually 3, right, and the distance is 2, which should give me 2, right. So then we're gonna check for 3 comma 3. Now the these two are same, right. This 3 and 3 are same, so we're gonna multiply this 3 with the distance, that is 3, right. So this would give me 9. Now you know that 9 is greater than 8, right. So we're gonna update again, right. We're gonna update this 8 to 9. So now again we're gonna move our pointers to over here, right, that is to 1. Then we're gonna check for like 1 comma 4, then 4 comma then for take consider line 1 comma 3, right. Next we're gonna at last we'll consider 4 comma 3, like this way we'll go. So what we're gonna do for this to perform this algorithm, we'll be needing 2 pointers, right, and we're going to traverse through this container 2 times. So the time complexity for this algorithm is actually n square, right, since we are traversing through the loop twice, while the space complexity is big of 1 because we are not taking an extra space over here. So now let's get to our optimal solution. Before going into the optimal solution, just tell me that what is the maximum length for this container. So now you would say that maximum length for this container is like 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is the number of gaps, right, that are present in this container. So the length will be 4, right. Now in order to take this length, we have to consider this, right, this 2 and this 2, right. So let's consider, let's have a low pointer, right, okay, which is currently pointing to this 2, right, and let's have a high pointer, right, which is currently pointing to this element. Okay, right. So now we need to multiply this 4, right, with the minimum. Now let's multiply this with the minimum. So minimum of 2 comma 3, right. Now what this would give, the minimum of 4 into 2, this would give me 8, right. Now let's store this 8, right, in a temporary answer. So let's take answer, right, let's store it, this 8 in a temporary answer. Now tell me that now what to, now we may either go in this direction or we can move our pointer high, that is we decrement our pointer in this direction, right. It doesn't matter which way we go, this 4, that is the length, will decrement by 1, right. Now our goal is to maximize, right, maximize to get as max area as possible, right. So in order to get the maximum area, we need to increase this value, right, that is the mean of this value, we need to increase it, right. Now let's say that if we take this value, right, that is 4, right, and then what would happen, we're again going to multiply this like 2 into 3, right, 2, yeah, 2 into 3. Now we have already get the maximum value for 2, right, where 2 is minimum, we already have got, that is that is this distance, right, sorry, and that is this distance we already have got, right. So why would I go to it doesn't make sense, right, if we go to this line 4, right, it doesn't make sense because you will obviously your value is going to decrease, right. So now what you're going to, we have to move this low pointer, right. Now low pointer is going to point to 3, right. Now your low pointer is pointing to 3 while the high pointer is pointing to this 3 again, right. Again we're gonna have this like, currently our length is 3, right, because we have 3 gaps, right, and our minimum of 3 comma 3 will give me 3, right. So 3 multiplied 3 is actually will give me 9, right. Now this is, now 9 is greater than 8, right, so we are gonna update this answer, right. So now which way we would go, right. Now that's the big question. Now you may go in any direction, right, doesn't matter which way you go, right, because they both are same. Okay, let's go in this direction only, that is, let's consider this one, let's move a more low pointer in this direction, okay. Currently our low is pointing over here. Okay, so our low is over here, right? Now the minimum between 1 and 3 is actually 1, right? And the length you can see, and the length is actually the length between 1 and 3 is actually 2. So this will give me 2, right? Now you know that 2 is less than 9, right? So it will, our answer will not update, right? Now tell me which is the minimum out of this 1 and 3. 1 again, right? Now our pointer is going to point, there's a low pointer is going to point to 4, right? Now the minimum between 4 and 3 is actually 3, right? So we're going to multiply this 3 with the length that is 1, right? So we are having 1. So this will give me 3. Now again the minimum between this and 2 is 4 and 3 is actually, this 3 is the minimum, right? Now we are going to decrement this high pointer, right? Now the high pointer is going to point over here, right? It is, and in this time we are going to stop our loop, right? That is, we are going to stop our loop when our low, right, when our low is actually greater than equals to, greater than or equals to, sorry, the high, right? That's when we are going to stop our loop, right? So the time complexity for this algorithm is actually big of n, reason being that we are traversing through this container only once, right? While the space complexity is big of 1, right, because we are not using any extra space over here. So now let's get to the code for this algorithm. Okay, so we have taken a function over here that is max area, which has the height as the parameter, right? Now we have declared a low, right, which is holding the value 0. You can see over here the low is currently at the 0th index of the container, right? We have also declared a high pointer, which is pointing to the height of size -1. That is the last index of the container over here, right? You can see the high is pointing to last index. And now we have taken another variable that is max container, which will be responsible for holding the maximum area in the container. That is the final answer, right? Now now the in the while loop we are checking whether our low is less than high or not, because we know that if our low is greater than equals to high, then that would be our terminating condition, right? And so if this condition is satisfied, then we are going inside this loop and we're going to storing, and storing the maximum area, right, current maximum area in the max container, right, by using the max function. Yeah, the area is actually the minimum of height of low, comma height of high, right, which is actually the, we need to find a minimum of between the two lines, right? And then we are actually multiplying this with the length, that is the high minus low, that is the length of between the two lines, right? Now once you have done with that, then we are checking whether the height of low is actually less than equals to the height of high or not. If this condition is satisfied, then we have to increment the low, right? That is, we are incrementing the low. Now is over here, right? We are incrementing the low. If case is not satisfied, then we are moving towards the else part over here, and hence we are decrementing the low. We have already seen when low is pointing over here while high is pointing over here, then we have actually decremented the high pointer from here to here, right? So now coming out of the while loop, we are returning the max container, right? That is our answer. So now let's run this code. So now see, it is successfully accepted, right? So that's all for today. If you If you like my video, do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and see you in our next video. Bye bye.